Hello, I'm Jackie Ellis from JackieEllis.com. I'm an intuitive guided mentor and Reiki master. I see energy and I help people decode the energy within them so that they can transform their lives into a life that they love. Thank you for joining me on this episode of our new monthly energies for August. These energies are going to start coming in near the end of this week, around the new moon week. And I really wanted to touch base on giving you an overall insight as to what August energies will feel or could feel like for you. But also really tap into going deeper and looking at the 6 pillars of life and what those energies mean for those areas of your life. Now, if you're not familiar with the 6 pillars of life, they are career, relationships, health, wealth, personal development, and spirituality. And I'll dig into those a little deeper as we discuss the energies that came through for the week or for the month. So when I asked my guides what they would like to show me, or the messages that come through when it comes to how people will feel or could feel through the month of August. And the overall energy that's coming in for August is very much a powerful energy. It is an extension to the energies that we've been feeling throughout 2021, gradually increasing. And it will continue to increase. The message that came through for the August energies was deep transformation will be impacting lives. So what does that mean for people? What can they expect? And when it comes to these types of energies, it's not necessarily what you expect, it's what you can do with those energies, what you will allow yourself to do with those energies. And deep transformation, it will be impacting lives. Now, for some of you, you may actually see friends of yours, family members, experience something that seems miraculous, or like a quantum transformation that's very surprising. It may be physical, it may be, some wonderful personality changes where, they don't seem like the same person. They've worked through a lot of what they were going through over the course of the month, and then all of a sudden, or it seems like it's all of a sudden, they've cleared what they needed to clear to lighten the weight on their shoulders, to get through what they were experiencing, and they're not focusing on all of the negative as much anymore. The energies for the month are very much an extension, like I said, from the previous months that we've experienced. They're just a little bit more. So it's a little bit more of a push to present opportunities for us when it comes to growing and expanding into our higher self, into the people that universe sees us to be, into living lives that are with less struggle and strife and more joy and happiness. Now, when this happens, when the energies increase and we start to feel them more, we will feel them within our body. We will feel, people call these ascension symptoms, where there's tension in your body. You feel more emotions. You have more impacts to your mental health. And some people will feel a disconnect. Some people will feel lost. Some people will feel that life is bottoming out for them. Some people will feel an overwhelm of weight, like a wave of overwhelm flowing over them. And when you don't have the tools to move through those denser energies and release those denser energies, or don't even realize that that's what is going on, then it can seem like there's no hope. So one thing that I want you to do, since you're watching this video, and there's no coincidences, so if you find yourself in those moments where you're feeling the tension, or you're feeling emotional swings, or you find yourself in more worry and anxiety than you would like. Who likes worry and anxiety anyway? But if you find yourself in those moments, then try to remember to pause and breathe. And then ask for guidance and support. Ask yourself. Ask the energies, the positive energies flowing through you. Ask to see what you need to see, to hear what you need to hear, to feel what you need to feel, and to understand what you need to understand. And when you ask those, whatever those questions are that you need to ask in those moments, you will be given direction. The universe wants you to know, my guides are telling me, and universe is telling me that you are supported always. It's just, sometimes it's hard when we're feeling all of that. It can be hard to discern how we're actually feeling and what we're going through. But know that every moment when we release, when we choose transformation, when we choose that growth opportunity in that moment, we move to a higher vibrational energy. And we start to release what's holding us down. Next, I'm going to talk to you about careers. So careers could be your job that you're currently working at, or it could be, if you don't work, maybe it's a passion project that you've been working on, or a project that you've been working on that possibly used to be very enjoyable for you, and it's just something that you do on a regular basis now. The messages that came through, the message that came through actually for career, the career pillar was, with every ending, there are new beginnings. Ooh. With every ending, there are new beginnings. So this relates to the whole transformation, because every time we choose to transform and expand and grow, we are essentially releasing what isn't serving us any longer and allowing new opportunities to come in, allowing new growth to come in. So we are essentially releasing what needs to end to allow the new beginnings to come in. So for some of us, we may have been feeling like being called, being urged over the last few months to or weeks to expand our gifts, or to what I call really step into our genius. And we may have been shown little messages to, directions on how to do that. Now's the time. Now's the time to release what you need to release in that doubt, in that worry, in that putting it off, avoidance, and allow yourself to step into it. For others, you may have found yourself really clearing the way, creating the path, so that when the time was right, you knew you could step onto that path and embrace the new opportunity. Whereas others might find themselves blindsided by this. And when you feel blindsided, it's because you often got really comfortable doing something that became habit and easy and old hand, and something that you didn't really have to think about anymore, but really didn't align with you, didn't really map to your vision for your life, but it was just something that you didn't have to think about anymore. You just went and did. But you didn't enjoy doing it. It didn't challenge you. It didn't spark anything within you. It wasn't really in alignment with you. And when this happens, when we are blindsided, it can hurt, it can sting, it can be a shock. There could be some fear that comes up, but my guides want you to know that you're supported. You are supported. The time is right. The time was beyond right for you. And there is no question now that the timing is right for you to step into something, another opportunity that is a better fit for you. And that might mean that you use this opportunity to grow a little more and come into alignment with who you want to be, so that you are ready for that next step and ready for that next opportunity. Whatever the situation is, we can look at this as a scary, uncertain period in our life, or we can look at it as an adventure and strap in our wings and fly to freedom. It's perspective. some food for thought. Okay, so relationships. Relationships. This message was came to me in bits and pieces, but when it rolled together, it made sense. So the message that came through for relationships was, it's time to come together. And I think we've been getting, if I recall correctly, this message has been getting stronger and stronger and stronger since the spring, really. And we've been guided to start coming together. We've been guided to know what matters to us. We've been guided to, when we're in relationships and interacting with different people, to pause and before reacting. Those messages have been trickling in over the weeks. And this is when we pull it all together. Things are opening up. We've been on, I'm not saying that coming together is going to be easy. I'm not saying that, and it may not be for some people. And we may find ourselves not quite ready to do it in a way where we are living life similar to what we did before 2020. And that's okay. Baby steps are okay, but I want you to know that a lot of the work that it takes to feel comfortable doing this and coming together with people again is not necessarily just physically taking that step forward and leaving the house, but it's really knowing what matters to you, having a vision for your life, having a vision for the relationships that you want to have. And sometimes that isolation that was created in the last year and a half was self-imposed because you needed to heal, because you needed to create space for yourself. And that's great. That's wonderful that you took the time to do that. But what we're being called to do now is to really band together, to really embrace this energy and help bring back some life again, to lift spirits, to embrace the relationships that we value, and to really connect on a deeper level. And that relationship for some people might be friends, it might be family, it might be coworkers, it may be new opportunities where new people come into your life, but it also might be going deeper in your own self-discovery and building that deeper relationship with yourself. Maybe you're ready to do that now. Maybe now's the time. Maybe that's the urge that you're feeling. Whatever you choose to do, have the courage to stand up for what matters. Because when we stand up for what matters in a way that is honorable towards ourselves and other people, and shows integrity, I mean the highest integrity towards others as well as ourselves, when we do that, we are healing. We are being true to how we want to live our life and what those relationships mean to us. So if you're in a relationship with someone and they matter to you, but there's something off with that relationship, you find yourself bored, or you find yourself not present when you're with them, then recognize that and acknowledge that and find a way to add some creative energies to that relationship. Find ways to do something fun or exciting or different, or, look within to see why you're feeling that way. And then take a step forward, because that relationship matters to you. Now, if you're in a relationship and you're finding that it really isn't for you anymore, you've outgrown it, or you've realized that the right decision for you is to exit that relationship, and that would be probably at that point be very good for the other person as well, because you just don't mesh anymore. That's okay too. You taking that step, you having the courage to take that step, is beneficial for you both. For some of you, you may find that there are creative connections happening both personally and professionally, and new people or people that you haven't seen in a while or heard from in a while all of a sudden contact you, and there's opportunity there. They're creative. You end up having a discussion where, your thoughts map theirs, and then all of a sudden you find yourself really excited about the opportunities that are possible for yourself and for the other person when you're working together. And again, this is all hand in hand with the allowing the endings to happen so the new beginnings can come in. And so I want you to really look at, when it comes to your relationship, what's draining your energies and what's igniting your energies. If things are draining your energies, then look at, if that relationship matters, look at why is your energy being drained? What can you do to help that situation? And I don't mean, can't fix people, but you can look at yourself. What's your part in that situation? What's your part in that relationship? Health. This one's going to seem a little harsh. The message that came through was, get out of your head. Now, I'm going to explain that, so don't exit the video yet, because you got to remember that not all of these pillars will apply to you. Sometimes they'll apply to other people that you may know, and that's where, this video comes in handy, because it gives you some insight. But it also might be something that you will find yourself in that you don't expect, but then you find yourself in, and you're like, oh, I remember Jackie saying something about this. So get out of your head when it relates to your health. So that's your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Get out of your head means that you allow yourself to time and space to connect with your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, and your mental well-being. It means that if you find yourself in worry loops or anxious about something, or you feel the tension in your body, or you are consumed with doubt, or you're finding yourself trying to control a bunch of things and it's becoming overwhelming, those are all signs that you are stuck in your head. That at some level, your subconscious has been running the show for a little too long and put you in a negative loop. And that's okay. If you find yourself in there, I want you to celebrate the fact that you actually recognized it. And then pause and reflect on how to bring yourself back into alignment. What can you do in that moment to reflect a little deeper as to what possibly brought you to that moment? What was the root of what started this? And then you can have something to work through. Have something to help you transform those energies so that you're no longer feeling the doubt. You can just step into your power and do what you need to do. If you find yourself avoiding things, you're too stuck in your head. You just need to do what you're do. Just do it. And I laugh because I find myself this every now and then. It's like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, okay, I pause and I reflect and I pull myself back. And I pull myself back by asking myself, what do I need in this moment to feel more balance? What do I need in this moment? And that might be stepping outside and feeling the sun on my face for like less than a minute. That might be putting my feet in the dirt. That might be me journaling whatever thoughts are coming to me without judgment, just to get them out of my head. That might be me looking at all the balls that I've put up in the air and then choosing one that matters the most and letting the rest fall. That might mean me being honest with myself what I've been avoiding. Being honest with myself what I've been doubting myself from doing. That might mean that I've been, looking at how I've been interacting with myself, how I've been interacting with other people, and if I've been filtering what I was being asked to say, how I was being asked to present myself in a more authentic way, and then me feeling like I couldn't do that because I didn't want to upset anybody. All of those energies that I've just discussed, all of those energies will weigh you down and will impact you physically, emotionally, and mentally. And then if there's enough of it, you will start to feel it really settle in your body. Wealth. A lot of people think that wealth, the pillar of wealth, is about financial stability or financial well-being. And it's really more expansive than that. And I don't mean expensive. I did not say expensive. It's expansive. It is a broader pillar than people think. It is about the quality of your life and the quality of life that you want to experience. And so it really is an umbrella over many, many areas of your life, and can impact your life greatly if you're not aware of how you want this pillar to look like, feel like, the things that you want to do in your life that bring you joy and happiness and peace and calmness. So the messages that came through when I explored this pillar was how you want to feel relates to the quality of life you experience. Actually, no, I said that wrong. How you want to feel relates to the quality of life you want to experience. Now, I said that. I did not say how you feel relates to the quality of life you're experiencing, even though that's true. You know, if you're feeling sad or angry or frustrated or nervous or doubtful, then you will experience, life won't seem so great right now. Right? Life won't seem so great right now. But if you're experiencing more joy and happiness and you're laughing more and you're having fun, and then life feels great. Do you see the relationship? So no matter what you're feeling right now, I want you to remember that, no matter what you're feeling right now, the message that came through was how you want to feel relates to the quality of life that you want to experience. So when you're looking at your life and you're not feeling how you want to feel, then it is an opportunity to say, you know what? Is this just one of these fleeting moments where it just is? And it's not going to be long term? Like, not everything's going to be sunshine and roses and unicorns and rainbows. And that's okay. But if life is if the way you're experiencing your days are generally lower vibrational energies, lower vibe feelings, if you're generally spending your days frustrated and angry and upset, or worried and anxious and doubtful of your own abilities, then those are moments where you can look at those and say, okay, what can I do to pull myself back into alignment with my intuition, to pull myself back to knowing that I'm supported no matter what, to using my inner warrior to do what I need to do to change this part of my life, to make that little change that, sometimes it doesn't have to be a massive transformation. Sometimes it could just be something small. But it's really like looking at little areas of your life. It's like, where can I bring more joy and happiness here? Where can I just let the other stuff, not push it aside, recognize the other stuff that is lower vibration, but go, doesn't matter. does that stuff, that I'm holding on to, that's weighing me down, does it matter? When I look at the big picture of my life and how I want to live my life, does that matter? These are the questions that you can ask yourself. Because when you're at that moment and you haven't pushed it aside, you've recognized it and you're placing it in front of you and going, does that matter? And you look at it and you go, you know what? No, I don't need to be frustrated about this. This is nothing. Okay, let it go. And you're not pushing it aside, you are actually letting it go. And when you let it go, you release that dense energy and allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to bring in higher vibrational energy. And your mood shifts and you start to feel lighter and not so heavy and not so serious about life. You know, I find it when I talk about this, it was like I'm reminded of a memory. And, you know, I'd be on the farm, I would be at my grandparents' farm, and, you know, after a day of people working in the fields and working in the barn, and there are a lot of, like, you know, there could have been some tension in doing that work because of, you know, livestock that was, you know, having some challenging times, or things that there was a time sensitive need to get done and something broke down or whatever happened. But at the end of the day, when those moments were building up and building up and building up, I found that my aunts and uncles would sometimes release that energy and by having a water fight, by laughing, by just breaking down and having these deep belly laughs and just releasing it all. And they just got silly. They just got silly, and allowing that to flow through them was healing. Because at that moment, they were able to just release the other stuff. Personal development. Now, personal development is really about your growth. It is about expanding, and that's what the energy that we have flowing through us is, very much a creative, expansive energy. So it's just naturally part of our life to feel compelled to do this transformative work, to not feel stuck in life anymore. When we feel stuck, that's when things get heavy. That's when we feel out of alignment the most. And so the message that came through, though, is actually pretty surprising, because it's not what I expected. You know, when the transformation energies was the overall energies, I didn't expect this message for personal development. But when I reflected on it and I sat with it, it made sense. So, are you ready? Take time to experience your life and appreciate the journey. So through this month, you may feel like you are achieving those goals, you're transforming things, you are looking for the next opportunity. And that's the key here, is that when you find yourself, it gets very easy when you're in doing this personal development work to seek the next opportunity for growth, to move on to the next thing, the next goal, before even like appreciating how far you've come, before appreciating the lesson that you're learning in that moment. It's like, okay, I know that. Okay, what's next? And instead of like sitting back and appreciating what you do have in your life, what the quality of life that you do have that is aligned and at ease and in flow with how you want to experience your days, you are constantly seeking the next thing that you need to do. And what my guides are saying is when you need to experience your life. When you're busy doing, you are not experiencing what you need to experience. You are just doing it. You are not appreciating the journey that you're on. They also want you to know that you may love what you do. You may love your career. You may love what you do. You may love that you are able to help others. You may love that, you have these obligations, but they don't feel like a heavy burden, or maybe they do feel like a heavy burden. But they're important to you. And it's a short period of time that you need to do it. That's okay. That's all okay. But you need to also remember that there's other parts of you. There's other parts of you that need taken care of. And I'm going to use the word balance here. And I don't mean putting equal time for different areas of your life, because that is impossible to expect. What I'm talking about is when you feel out of balance, when you feel worn down, when you feel a little too serious, when you feel like you are stuck, those are signs that you are out of balance. And when you feel out of balance, it's asking yourself, what do I need in this moment to bring myself back into balance? Am I missing my family? And I need to spend more time, a little bit more time with my family, where I, maybe have a game night, or maybe carve out time for a night where you watch something that everyone enjoys and can have a laugh. Do I need a date night with my partner? Do I need more self-care for me, where I am reading a fun book, or spending some time outside, or maybe it's planning a hike for you and the family, or going camping, or whatever it might be. But you aren't just that one thing. You are a whole person, and you have other needs. And when you look at that and are able to figure out how to bring yourself back into a balance, when you have possibly been ignoring those other areas of your life that really matter to you, you are essentially also looking at what you need for your own physical, mental, and emotional well-being. You are setting a boundary for yourself so that you aren't just putting everyone else's needs first. You are looking at what you need personally and putting yourself on the list. And that's important. It's important because you matter. The last pillar is spirituality. And spirituality for me is not necessarily a religious journey. It is a deep connection it was a journey of deep connection with myself. It was learning to love myself, flaws and all, as I was, and trusting myself, learning how to trust myself to do what I needed to do when I needed to do it. And really understanding that as I did that, as I deepened that connection with myself, there was this relationship, this deep relationship with a higher power, with the universe, that was one in the same. There was no disconnect. There was no gap. I just knew that when I allowed myself to have that relationship with my own self in that way, I also gained a deep relationship with that source energy flowing through me that has always been there. And so when I reflected this month, for this month's energies, I asked about spirituality. And the message that came through was, whatever path you take, you are always supported. Whatever path you take, you are always supported. So, oftentimes we think that our journey has to go a certain way, and if we veer off in a different direction or take a different way to that destination, that we've done something wrong. If we find the pathway that we took was bumpier than we expected, we blame ourselves for doing something wrong. And my guides want you to know that no matter what direction you choose, you are always supported. Sure, there may be bumps in the road that are a little bit bumpier than you expected or bumpier than they needed to be. But when you made that choice, that's what you needed. That's what you could do in that moment. And it's learning those lessons as you go and appreciating the journey as you do it, so that you can see, okay, you know what? If I would have known what I know now, I probably would have taken a different route. But then I wouldn't have necessarily learned this. I wouldn't have learned that I can release this, and this is what was stopping me, and I couldn't see down that other way, and so it made me feel extremely uncomfortable. That's part of the journey, is recognizing when the resistance is there. And when the resistance is there, there's something behind that. There's something there that is, the brain is stopping us from seeing. And it's usually something that's really uncertain. It's like a new pathway that we've never taken before. And even though the old pathway is familiar and isn't exactly the best decision for us, because there's some unhealthy habits that are there that really create problems for our life, it knows what to expect. And so it uses that as a way to make us feel comfortable going down that route. But if we want better for our life,
the pathway that we're being guided to go down is the uncomfortable one. And so it's recognizing the resistance and recognizing the journey and recognizing when that resistance is happening and what it means. And that resistance might feel like, you've tried to go down that new pathway before, but you've taken a couple steps and you feel like you're bouncing back, like you're on a bungee cord. Or it may feel like a wall or a box, and you can't see by it. You can't see through it. You can't see around it. And it's not pushing it aside. It's not pushing that wall aside, but it's sending yourself love and appreciation and really embracing the idea that beyond that resistance is adventure and exciting times that have possibility for you. And being able to see what that resistance is attached to is really empowering for you, because you have the opportunity, once you know what it is, to release that and step into what's possible for you. You are more than you ever thought possible. And the only thing that's limiting you is your own beliefs about yourself. Those are the things that are clouding your vision for what's possible for you. And a very important part of this message that my guides wanted me to make sure to share with you was never compare your journey with someone else's. Your journey is yours. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I had so much fun. I'm glad you were here to be with me. And I want you to know that you've got this. And if you don't feel at any point that you do have it, that you feel like you need some help, that you don't know where to go, or something's just really overwhelming you, reach out. Reach out. There's nothing weak about asking for help. Until next time, thank you for joining me. If you resonated with anything in this video, or feel like someone in your life might resonate with something in this video, I would really appreciate if you would be willing to share the love. You can share the love in a few different ways. You can by sharing this video, liking this video, subscribing to my channel. And if you feel compelled to help support me in this journey, you can buy me a virtual coffee where I use the funds to help support my family and to create content like this for people like you. There's also a membership option that's in the link. It's called Soul Talk Membership. It is packed full of goodness and opportunity for people like you. I'll let you look at the link and gather the information through there. There is no obligation as to the length of time that you stay in the membership. It is completely up to you. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Be simply you.